Now we're talking about Week 12, Lecture B, incorporating visuals and multimedia elements in writing. How many of you have ever found an article or essay easier to understand because of the images, charts, or videos included within the text? Visuals can enhance written content by making it more engaging, easier to understand, and persuasive. Today, we'll discuss how to effectively use visuals and multimedia elements in your writing to support your arguments and provide clarity for your readers. Why use visual and multimedia elements in writing? It enhances comprehension. Visuals can simplify complex information and make abstract ideas more concrete. For example, a chart can display statistics more clearly than paragraphs of text explaining the data. You can engage the reader. Multimedia can draw readers in and keep their attention, making your work more impactful. For example, in an essay on climate change, images of melting ice caps or an infographic on CO2 emissions can provide an emotional and intellectual hook. Supporting arguments. Visual aids can provide evidence to back up your claims, making your argument more compelling. Using a table to show historical data on a topic reinforces your points and establishes credibility. Types of visuals and multimedia elements. Images. Photographs, illustrations, and diagrams can convey concepts quickly. For example, a diagram in a biology essay to explain a structure of a cell. Charts and graphs. Useful for presenting data clearly, especially in research-based writing. Types include bar charts, line graphs, pie charts, and scatter plots, each serving different purposes. Infographics. These combine texts and visuals to present information in a visually engaging way. For example, an infographic on water consumption in an environmental science essay. Tables. Great for organizing and presenting data, especially when comparing several pieces of information. Multimedia. Audio clips, video, and interactive elements in digital formats can add depth to your content. For example, embedding a short video clip in an online essay about music history to give readers an auditory example of the genre. When and how to use visual aids effectively. When to use visuals. To clarify complex information. Use visuals if your text alone might be too complex or hard to follow. To support key points. Visuals should reinforce your main ideas, not distract from them. Engage and motivate the reader. Visuals can break up long sections of text and maintain reader interest. How to use visuals effectively. Relevance. Only include visuals that directly support or enhance the content. Simplicity. Avoid cluttered or overly complex visuals. Aim for clarity and ease of understanding. Placement. Place visuals near the text that discusses or references them. This helps the reader make connections between the visual and the content. Labeling and captions. Always include a caption or label explaining what the visuals represent and why it's relevant. For example, below a chart, include a caption such as Figure 1, average temperature increases over the last 50 years. Integrating visuals into research or argumentative essays. Choosing the right visuals. Determine the type of visual that best suits the data or idea you want to present. Think about what each type of visual element communicates best. For example, charts and graphs work well for data analysis. Images are effective for evoking emotions or illustrating specific examples. Infographics are helpful for providing an overview or summary of information. Referencing visuals in your text. Introduce visuals within your writing. Don't just drop them in without context. Example. As shown in Figure 1, there's been a steady rise in global temperatures over the past decade. Explain the significance of the visual to reinforce your points. Avoid over-relying on visuals. They should complement your writing, not replace detailed explanations. Using visuals for arguments and analysis. Visual elements can be powerful tools in an argument essay if used purposefully. Example. In a persuasive essay on the benefits of renewable energy, use a chart comparing carbon emissions of fossil fuels and renewables. Address counter-arguments visually. For example, in an argumentative essay on the cost of education, Include a table that shows both rising tuition costs and potential solutions to demonstrate awareness of different perspectives. Documenting and citing visuals. Just like written content, visuals from other sources need to be cited. If you're using a chart, table, or image from an external source, follow the appropriate citation style, MLA, APA, etc. Example in APA format, the author, year, figure, table, image, title, source. For original visuals, you don't need to cite, but you should label and explain them clearly. Tips for incorporating multimedia elements, audio, video, etc. Use multimedia strategically. Choose audio or video clips that add new depth or context to your content. For example, in a digital essay on classical music, embed audio clips of pieces being discussed. Consider the reader's experience. Make sure multimedia elements are accessible and functional. Avoid overly large files that might slow down your page or distract from the main content. Explain the multimedia relevance. Just as with images, explain the significance of multimedia elements in your text. Example, this video clip demonstrates the effects of ocean acidification, which visually reinforces the points discussed above. Potential pitfalls to avoid. Overusing visuals or multimedia. Including many visuals can be overwhelming or distracting. Choose quality over quantity. Adding unnecessary visuals. Avoid using visuals that don't directly support your points. This can dilute the impact of your argument. Low quality or unclear visuals. Poor resolution or lack of clarity in visuals can reduce your credibility. Not providing adequate explanation. Ensure each visual or multimedia element is accompanied by a clear explanation of its purpose and relevance. The conclusion, making your writing more powerful with visuals. Visuals and multimedia elements, when used effectively, can enhance comprehension, engagement, and persuasiveness in your writing. Remember, visuals and multimedia are there to support your ideas, not replace them. By carefully selecting and integrating these elements, you create a richer experience for your reader and strengthen the impact of your writing. Then, lecture notes, everyone's an author, Chapter 17, Writing a Review. The purpose and scope of reviews. Think about the last time you looked up a restaurant or product review online before making a decision. What made you trust or distrust that review? Reviews are everywhere. They influence decisions in everyday life, choosing products, trying new restaurants, or watching a movie. Reviews can vary in their style, purpose, and formality. A casual Amazon review, a professional critique in Rolling Stone or Consumer Reports, or academic reviews assigned in college courses. Reviews across contexts, across academic disciplines. Reviews are a common genre in college, where you may analyze books, performances, or policies. Examples by field. Humanities, books or film reviews. Performing arts, reviewing a live performance. Business, evaluating products or business plans. The key skill, develop criteria for evaluation and provide evidence to support your claims. Literature, use quotations and textual analysis. Economics, incorporate numerical data or projections. Across media, reviews appear in diverse media formats: print, digital, television, podcasts. Example, a TV critic may show film clips to support points, whereas a written review may rely solely on descriptions. Across culture and communities, reviewing conventions differ globally. In the US, reviews tend to be direct and transparent. Other cultures may use a more guarded tone, especially in face-saving contexts. Online reviews, regardless of culture, can often be brutally honest. Across genres, reviews can blend with other genres. Proposals may evaluate potential solutions. Consumer reports integrate analysis and evaluation. Characteristic features of successful reviews. They provide relevant background information. Context is crucial. Describe what you were reviewing so your audience understands your evaluation. Tailor the amount of detail based on audience knowledge. For example, A Rolling Stone review of a popular band may need less background than a general interest magazine. Establish a clear criteria for evaluation. Define the standards for your review. What are you judging? For example, cars, consider performance, price, safety, and style. Books, look at themes, style, pacing, and character development. Use qualitative, descriptive, and quantitative, measurable criteria where appropriate. Provide a well-supported evaluation. Make a clear claim about whether the subject is good, bad, or somewhere in between. Support your claim with specific evidence. Direct quotes, data, examples, and comparisons. Acknowledge weaknesses in things you praise and strengths in things you critique. Address counter-arguments. Why might others disagree with your evaluation? Consider the audience's needs and expectations. Assess how familiar your audience is with the subject. Provide detailed descriptions for those who may not know the subject well. Example: review criteria for a technical gadget may be clear to tech enthusiasts but not general readers. Adopt an authoritative tone. Establish your credibility through knowledge of the subject, balanced critique and praise, clear organization and tone. If you're reviewing a scientific paper, show familiarity with the research method or field. Demonstrate awareness of ethics. Recognize that reviews have consequences. A glowing review may bring success, a harsh one may lead to setbacks. Be mindful of your biases and avoid unnecessarily harsh criticism. Steps for writing a review. Understand your rhetorical situation. Who's your audience? What's your purpose? What medium will you use? Gather relevant background information. Research the subject and include key details that your audience needs to understand your evaluation. Set criteria. Decide what aspect of the subjects are most important for your audience. Example: if reviewing a restaurant, consider service, food quality, ambience, and price. Make a claim. Clearly state your overall evaluation early in your review. Support with evidence. Use specific examples, quotes, or data to back up each point. For example, instead of saying the movie was bad, explain the plot lacked coherence, with characters disappearing without explanation. Balance praise and critique. Even a negative review should acknowledge positives and vice versa. Conclude effectively. Summarize your evaluation and offer final thoughts or recommendations. Reviews are powerful tools for shaping public opinion and academic thought. They require a careful balance of evidence, tone, and audience awareness. Practice writing reviews in reverse formats to strengthen your critical thinking and writing skills. Now we're talking about writing a review, a roadmap. Choose a subject to review. Pick something you're passionate about: books, movies, products, restaurants, or even shoes. Enthusiasm and interest often lead to better reviews. For example, if you love music, reviewing an album might be more exciting than evaluating a textbook. If you're assigned a topic, tailor your approach to make your topic interesting for yourself and your audience. For example, a review of a business proposal can still highlight creative ideas or flaws that intrigue you. Consider your rhetorical situation. Understand your audience. Ask these guiding questions. Who am I writing for? My instructor, peers, public readers? What do they already know about the subject? What do they expect from the review? And how can I meet or exceed their expectations? Define your purpose. Beyond fulfilling the assignment, what's your goal? To recommend, warn, inform, or entertain? Think about what you want your audience to do or feel after reading your review. Establish your stance, your attitude toward the subject. Are you enthusiastic, skeptical, or neutral? How will your tone reflect that stance? If you're reviewing a movie you loved, your enthusiasm should shine through without sounding biased. Projecting authority as an author. Balancing being well-informed and relatable. Ask yourself, do I sound credible? Am I offering thoughtful and balanced insights? Crafting language for your review. Choosing your style. Adjust your tone based on the audience. formal for academic reviews, conversational for blog posts. For example, a movie review for a campus paper might include humor, while a book review for a professor should be more formal. Taking risks. Experiment with unique expressions or creative analogies. Just ensure they suit the context. Ask, will this engage or alienate my readers? Evaluating your subject. What's your first impression? What stood out to you immediately? For example, the striking cinematography of the film grabbed my attention within the first 10 minutes. Examining details. Take notes while watching, reading, or experiencing the subject. Look for strengths, weaknesses, or unexpected elements. Example, does a restaurant's excellent service make up for its mediocre food? Conduct research. Investigate the creator's background or compare with other works. Academic reviews may require referencing what others have said about your subject. Establishing criteria. Decide what standards you'll evaluate the subject against. For example, a film, acting, direction, script, visuals, pacing. Making your judgment. Be nuanced. Rarely is something entirely good or bad. Back every claim with evidence. The gadget's sleek design is impressive, but its battery life is underwhelming. Balancing description and evaluation. Describing a subject. Provide enough background for readers to understand. Avoid lengthy summaries and focus on key elements. Evaluate the subject. Use the criteria you've chosen to analyze strengths and weaknesses. Anticipate and address potential counterarguments. Organizing your review. Start with a tentative thesis. What's your main takeaway or overall evaluation? For example, while the movie has stunning visuals, its plot leaves much to be desired. Draft an introduction. Capture attention and clarify what you're reviewing. In a world saturated with superhero films, does this one stand out or blend into the crowd? Body paragraphs. Organized by strengths, weaknesses, or by criteria. Provide evidence for every claim. Conclusion. Summarize your evaluation and offer final recommendations. For example, if you're looking for a visually stunning experience, this film delivers, but don't expect deep storytelling. Using media and design. Enhance your review with visuals. Include photos, tables, or video clips when possible. Example, a product review may benefit from comparison, tables showing features and pricing. Match the medium to your audience. Online reviews may integrate multimedia. Print reviews require concise descriptions. Consider, what's the best way to deliver your evaluation effectively? Then refining your draft. Critical self-review. Is the evaluation clear and supported? Does the tone establish your authority? Get feedback. Share with peers or visit a writing center. Ask readers, does my review seem fair and balanced? Closing thoughts. Reviews are a blend of personal insights and critical analysis. Whether you're recommending the latest gadget or critiquing a novel, aim to be thoughtful, fair, and engaging. Your review is more than just an opinion. It's an opportunity to inform and influence your audience. Then we have words, phrases, and criteria for writing effective reviews. Reviews are not just about stating opinions. They're about persuading readers through thoughtful evaluation supported by evidence. Using precise words and phrases can help you convey your ideas clearly and establish credibility as a reviewer. This lecture will explore useful vocabulary and phrases for reviews, criteria for evaluating various subjects, examples of how to tailor language to different kinds of reviews, key vocabulary and phrases for reviews, describe the strengths, use positive, specific language to highlight strong features. For performance, the actor delivered nuanced performance that captured the character's complexity. The choreography was breathtaking, blending precision with creativity. For products, the phone's battery life exceeded expectations, lasting well over 2 days of heavy use. The design is sleek and modern, appealing to tech-savvy users. For food or restaurants, the dish was perfectly seasoning, offering a delightful balance of flavors. Service was prompt and attentive, ensuring a seamless dining experience. Critiquing weakness. Use professional, respectful language when pointing out flaws. For performance. While the story had potential, the pacing felt uneven, especially in the second act. The dialogue occasionally lacked depth, with affected character development. For products, the camera struggles in low light conditions, producing grainy images. Setup was overly complicated, requiring multiple attempts to connect to Wi-Fi. For food and restaurants, the meal was overly salty, overshadowing the natural flavors. Service was slow, and the staff seemed overwhelmed during peak hours. Phrases to compare and contrast. Compared to similar models, this device offers better performance at a lower price. Unlike traditional novels, in this genre, the book adds a fresh perspective. And while this restaurant excels in ambience, its menu lacks variety. Evaluative words for reviews. Positive words. Outstanding, innovative, reliable, efficient, seamless, rich, engaging, captivating, and excellent. Negative words. Underwhelming, inconsistent, clunky, outdated, bland, tedious, confusing, and overpriced. Common criteria for writing reviews. Books. Plot and pacing. Is the story engaging and well structured? Character development. Are the characters believable and relatable? Writing style. Does the author use language effectively? Originality. Does the book offer a fresh perspective or idea? Example phrase. The author's descriptive prose brings the setting vividly to life, but the underdeveloped protagonist detracts from the narrative. Movies and TV shows. Acting. Were the performances convincing and memorable? Direction. Did the director effectively guide the story and visuals? Cinematography. Were the visuals compelling and appropriate for the tone? And soundtrack. Did the music enhance the emotional impact? Example phrase. The film's cinematography stood out, capturing the grandeur of the landscapes through the storylines occasionally felt predictable. Restaurants and food. Food quality. How was the taste, freshness, and presentation? Service. Was the staff polite and efficient? Ambiance. Was the atmosphere inviting and suitable for the setting? Value for the money. Did the quality justify the price? The example phrase. The cozy decor complemented the rustic menu, but the lack of vegetarian options limited its appeal. Products, gadgets, appliances, clothing. Functionality. Does it perform as advertised? Design. Is it aesthetically pleasing and user-friendly? Durability. How long is it likely to last? Price. Is it worth the cost? Example phrase. The headphones provided excellent sound clarity, but the build quality feels fragile for the price point. Performance, e.g. concerts, play events. Energy and engagement. Did the performers connect with the audience? Technical aspects. How were the lighting, sound, and stage design? The overall experience. Was it memorable and worth attending? The example phrase. The concert's high-energy performance captivated the audience, though occasional sound glitches disrupted the flow. Tailoring your criteria to the subject. Every review requires customization depending on the subject. For example, for a car, focus on mileage, safety features, performance, and design. For a college, highlight facilities, faculty, campus life, and academic programs. Structuring your review using words and phrases. Introduction. Establish context and draw readers in. As a longtime fan of action films, I was excited to see how this movie would compare to the classics. This new smartphone promises cutting-edge features at an affordable price, but doesn't deliver. The body. Break the review into clear sections based on criteria. The food was excellent, but service left much to be desired. The laptop's lightweight design is ideal for travel, though its limited battery life may frustrate frequent users. And then the conclusion. Summarize your evaluation and make a recommendation. While the novel's beautifully written, its slow pace may not appeal to readers looking for action. If you value affordability over premium features, this product is an excellent choice. Final thoughts. Writing an effective review requires balancing subjective opinions with objective analysis. Thoughtful word choices and structured criteria are key to crafting reviews that inform, persuade, and resonate with readers. Every review you write is a chance to influence others. Use that opportunity wisely. Now, the ethics of visual manipulation. Have you ever seen a picture online and later found out it was edited and felt a little cheated? The main idea. Visuals feel trustworthy because seeing is believing, but many images are constructed or manipulated. The goal for today: learn how visuals can be altered, why it matters ethically, and how to be a critical viewer and creator. Types of visual manipulation: photoshopping and airbrushing. The definition: changing an image's appearance digitally removes blemishes, changing body shape, altering colors, etc. Common uses: beauty ads, smoothing skin and shrinking waists, celebrity photos perfecting faces and bodies, product photos making items look larger, shinier, or more appealing. Ethical questions: does this create unrealistic expectations about body image, lifestyle, and success? Is the viewer being misled about what's normal or achievable? Then we have selective cropping. Definition: cutting an image so only part of the scene is shown. How it changes meaning: removing people who don't fit the narrative, making a crowd look bigger or smaller, hiding unflattering details, trash, protesters, police, etc. An example scenario: a photo of a politician alone with supporters versus the uncropped version showing protesters just outside the frame. The key point: nothing in the image is fake, but the story is incomplete or slanted. Then we have deep fakes. The definition: AI generated or heavily edited videos, images that make it appear like someone said or did something they never did. The uses: fake speeches by public figures, altered news footage, harassment and blackmail. The ethical stakes: threat to democracy, trust, consent, and safety. Viewers may share content that is completely fabricated. Misleading graphs and data visuals, common tricks, truncated scales, starting the y-axis at a high number to make small differences look huge, cherry-picking data, showing only the years or groups that provide the desired point, unequal intervals, distorting the time on the x-axis, chart junk, decorative elements that distract from the actual data. The ethical question: is the graph helping the audience understand reality or selling a story? Then we have staged versus candid photos. Staged photos: photos rearranged for effect, politicians with rolled up sleeves in a factory, spontaneous laughter and ads. Candid: moments captured naturally, without posing, though even these can be selectively chosen. Ethical concerns: are viewers told the photo is staged? Are emotions or situations exaggerated to gain sympathy, votes, or clicks? AI-generated images and credibility. Images created entirely by AI from text prompts, not captured by camera. The benefits: can illustrate abstract ideas, historical scenes, or fictional scenarios. The risks: used as if they're authentic photos or real evidence. Can reinforce stereotypes or show events that never happened. Ethical responsibility: label AI images clearly. Avoid presenting them as documentary evidence. Intent versus impact: why ethics matter. Intent: what the creator meant to do. Advertising: make a product look appealing. Journalism: present events fairly. Art: explore ideas or emotion. The impact: what actually happens. Viewers feel pressured, misled, or manipulated. Stereotypes are reinforced, or public trust in media decreases. The key idea: even if manipulation seems minor or normal, it shapes how people see themselves in the real world. And ethical guidelines for using visuals in your own work: be honest about the source. If an image is edited, staged, or AI generated, make that clear. Avoid deceptive cropping or framing. Don't hide important contexts just to make your point seem stronger. Use accurate data or visuals. Start scales at 0 unless there's a clear reason not to, and explain it. Don't leave out data points that contradict your claim. Respect people's dignity and privacy. Avoid using embarrassing or dehumanizing images just for shock value. Ask, would my audience feel tricked if they knew the full story? If the answer is yes, reconsider your visual choice. And then questions critical viewers should ask. When you encounter a visual, ask, who created this and what do they want me to believe or do? What might be outside the frame or edited out? Is this clearly labeled as edited, staged, or AI generated? For graphs, what's on the axis? Where do the scales start and end? And is any relevant data missing? How does this image make me feel? And is that emotional reaction being used to push a message? Wrap up, visual power, visual responsibility. Visuals are powerful rhetorical tools. They shape beliefs quickly. With that power comes responsibility. As writers and creators, students must use visuals ethically. The final reminder, if your words need a visual to lie for them, the problem isn't the picture, it's the argument.